My eyes are so blue. What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, and it's the first. Wait, Elliot Scott, that's me. And it's the first video into the new year, 2019. I want to do a lot with this channel. I always say this shit, so I might as well not even say it. But I want to do a lot with this channel. I'm gonna put out more videos. But again, I always say that, and something comes up, so ignore it, okay? But I just wanted to say it. Maybe I feel better saying it myself, okay? And as you can see by the title below, we're going to start off this new year with some tips from a dating coach on how to make dating better in 2019, okay? It's obviously different than back in the day. You all bitch about it all the time. Modern dating sucks. Well, I'm going to kind of get you in there and help you out a little bit and, yeah, see what we can do with it, okay? So if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Just click the red button below. I'll love you forever. If you want a session with me, it is in the description below. Click the little bell notification. It gives you my videos right away. I'll love you forever. Now, if I keep on looking down, it's because I have my notes here. And the first thing I want to say, or I guess number one is, and you're going to think I'm contradicting myself because you heard my other videos, it's get online, okay? Now, don't click off. Let me, for fuck's sakes, let me tell you why. I believe online dating is the way it's going, it's the way it's been. But what's more important about it is, and this is what people don't understand with dating, it's two things. It's a numbers game, number one. And two, in dating, you only have to succeed once. Okay? So if you're 40 right now and you're single, right, you failed 99.9% of the, well, no, you failed 100%. My statistics class there. You failed 100%. If you're single right now, all the way up to 40, 30, 25, I don't care how old you are, 15 if you're watching this. If you are, you have nothing to worry about, whatever, you're young. But you failed 100% of the time. It is a numbers game. You only have to succeed once. Okay? That's it. If you succeed once, it all works out. And the reason I want you to do online dating is because I do think dating nowadays is more of an art. And it shouldn't be that way, but with all the technology and mind games and bullshit and people wanting different things and life happening, it comes down to attraction. And I'm a big believer that the more repetitions you get in. Now, I'm not saying go out and date a bunch of guys, right? I'm just saying have potential prospects, potential candidates. And I feel like the more you flirt, the more you contact, the more you go through the bullshit, the more it's trial and error. You learn and you tighten your game. And it all comes down, again, to attraction. And when the right guy comes along, even if it's not the right guy, the right person clicks. You're going to click better because you know what the hell you're doing, okay? You don't want to have the Prince Charming coming along and you not knowing what the hell you're doing in the bedroom. You're too shy because you're not familiar with men. You have a lack of experience with kissing. All these things, okay? You don't want that. So get online because you get your repetitions in. You can meet more guys. Yeah, you're going to kiss more toads, but, you're going to meet more guys. And again, you only have to succeed once. Now, the second thing, and this is something I want to start going more towards as my content and my guides, it's stop focus. Wait, hold on. Let me see. So that's the next one. The second thing is start focusing on context and the pacing. So many people I always say there's like a micro and then there's a macro way of looking at things. And context, I always say, is the bigger picture. So let me give you an example of that. Micro would be you and I on a date, and it's what we're doing on the dates, right? Me trying to pressure on the date, me saying this, me saying that, then at the end of the day saying, oh, that was a good date. Macro would be us consistently going on the dates, hanging out, having fun, hooking up, things over time, and seeing how that's changing the dynamics of dating. And the reason that's very important to focus on is because context builds, it fills in the gaps, okay? So a good example is, let's just say I was doing the same thing date one, right? Oh, no. Let me use an analogy. if you and I were hanging out, and let's say that the first time we hung out, you came over, we had fun, hung out, watched a movie, had a good time, cuddled in bed, you stayed the night, whatever, right? Just a good time. On its own, that's a great thing. I'm like, damn, that was a good night. I want to do that again. Okay? And then let's say we do it again. Fuck, she's awesome. I want to do it again. Okay? Again, that's micro because it's only it's a little bit of time. Let's say that's all within a week and a half. That's micro for the most part. But if we do that same thing over time, weeks, months, or days, week, months, things like that. And again, other things are coming in the picture. Now we're hooking up. I met your friends, you met my friends. It's the macro is starting to change now because of time, because of consistency. It's giving more, even though it's the same thing as it was day one. We're in 3 months now. We're still just hanging out, having fun, hooking up. Let's just say, now that might be a boring relationship because that's all we're doing, but I'm using this as an example. It's changing the context, okay? It's getting more of a relationship vibe. It's getting more serious. And I think that is what people do not focus on. So women, like when a guy pulls away after sex, women think, oh, he just wanted sex. It's not that so much as it is the seriousness and the vibe or stigma we give, after sex. Things get more serious, it's more intimate. People become more vulnerable. Women get more attached, or again, that's the stigma. But it's, again, if guys were talking up a big game, talk about the future with you and saying all this and saying all that and this consistency, and he's the one always texting and initiating things like that, and then you have sex, again, that context of it's not the sex, it's everything he said before that changes the context. Wait, why is my thing being blurry? Anyway, I'm still making a video. That changes it all, okay? So you need to focus on context and pacing, the bigger picture, how you're coming out as a whole, and what's the vibe feel like. Again, what's hovering over you, this umbrella, what's weighing down on you guys, right? What's it look like? And then adapt accordingly. And of course, you do that with pacing. That's why I put pacing in there. Now, the third thing I have is focusing on attraction and likability, and not so much the end goal or outcome. I know a lot of women who focus on the end goal, the outcome. I want the relationship. But the truth is, if you focus on attraction, if you focus on in the moment, having a good time, hanging out, having fun, laughing, and things like that, you're just going to have a better chance of getting him than trying to tie him down. If you're trying to tie him down, depending on when it is, right? If you do it too early, I think that's insecurity. If you do it too late, then that could be insecurity too. That could be fear of losing him, so you don't want to say anything, right? I always tell women there needs to be a line of respect, meaning if you do it too soon, you're crazy. If you do it too late, then you got to respect your wants, needs, and desires, and you got to draw that line somewhere. But at the same time, that whole process is going to be much easier if you just focus on the attraction, because it's not a choice. You can't help who you're attracted to. Okay. Now I have number 4 is instead of reading books, I'm a big believer in this. You still can. I recommend doing it. Instead of reading books and watching videos, reading dating books and watching dating videos, focus more on videos about evolutionary psychology, social behavior, male mind, dating, evolution in dating, why guys go after what they go after, and things like that. So a good example would be, guys liking boobs, and then the reason they do like boobs. So a lot of people know guys like curves, guys like butts, women thick in the right areas, nice lips, youth, big boobs, and things like that. But you don't know why. And the evolutionary answer, that would be childbearing cues. When a woman's symmetrical, she has youth, she has a nicer figure, shape. Those are, again, childbearing cues. Those are those signs of fertility. So it's just something. Again, you have to start looking at things like that, especially with all the bullshit and mind games nowadays. You have to look at things in a less lovey-dovey, The Notebook, watch, remember type of bullshit way, the stuff that society feeds you. True love. It's not that that's not a thing. I'm just saying you have to look at more from an evolutionary perspective. And of course, the last one I have is focus on your looks, emotional arousal, and assets versus liabilities. Those three things are what attracts men. It's your looks. Sorry, that's just, again, we can go to evolutionary psychology. That's just how it is. It's the first thing he sees. And his lens, the thing he sees, what he thinks about you in the beginning is what everything's seen through. Okay, can it change? Yes, but everything's seen through that. Okay, so looks, emotional arousal, and that could be in any way. That could be sexual. That could be me taking you out to a scary movie and you getting scared from the movie. Again, it's a stimulant. You want some stimulation emotionally, and there's different ways of doing that, right? It can be deep talks, which I don't recommend that in the beginning, but deep talks, familiarity, roller coasters. It could be, some adrenaline. It could be anything like that. Sexual, physical, which is why I'm a big fan of sexual tension while going on the date. Because she's nervous at the same time. It's a new era because you're meeting a new guy. You want to have a new conversation. This is all just stimulants, right? So that's why if you have a really good first date, that's where people really get attached and start getting addicted as a really good first date. And what's the last thing I said? Assets versus liabilities. I always tell women the two things that I said three things here, but the two main things that get guys attracted to you, I guess you could put one of these under the first part, is his feelings for you. Again, your looks and the emotional arousal. So his feelings for you, that's common sense. But then it's the assets versus liabilities. It's how many of my resources am I giving versus what I am receiving. And if a guy's with women who are dramatic, not saying you are, but if a guy's with a woman who's dramatic and she's this and she's that and they're always fighting and they're always bitching and she's holding out sex or all this kind of stuff, then, why be with you? It has to be, but at the same time, if you're with a woman who's loving, who's giving, who's nurturing, who's caring, who's selfless, who's fun to be around, it's like, why would I not want to be with her? She's awesome. So focus on those three things. You will get much further with men, okay? Now, well, those three things in number 5, but all 5 things. You got to focus on the 5 things I said. You'll be grand. Dating would be easy, right? So with that being said, ladies, I love you. Take care. We're going to have a good new year. If you want any video ideas, leave them down below. Subscribe, and peace. Wait, time out. Hold on. I didn't push. Restart. On. And peace.